Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today I wanted to do a really quick video talking about how to replace the blade on this Makita LS1030 chop saw. So it's actually pretty simple, so let's go ahead and get started. The very first step here is obviously unplug the saw, right? You really want to make sure that this is not active. So I'm just going to double check. Yep, the thing is dead. That's perfect. So the next thing you're going to have to do is we're going to have to get this, this guard out of the way. So there's a couple of screws here all over the place. You might see there's one back here which is sort of hidden by this guard, and actually no matter which direction you push this guard, you can't expose that Allen bolt right there. There's another Phillips head screw right here on the center of the guard. You don't want to touch that. This is actually the one you want. You want this one back here. It's a 13 millimeter. So just go ahead and grab yourself a 13 millimeter and unscrew this. It's a normal thread. So in other words, counterclockwise to unscrew. So let me go ahead and just unscrew this. And once you get this 13 millimeter bolt off, the whole guard will actually rotate down. So if I slide this down, and I kind of finagle it. There we go. Okay, so now the guard rotates. You don't even need to mess with this Allen here. So we're just going to leave it like this. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to try to get this bolt off. So again, this is also another 13 millimeter. However, the thing that makes this one slightly different is this is a reverse thread. So my saw, it actually says here, it says to secure the blade, tighten the hex bolt counterclockwise. So this bolt is actually reverse threaded. So in order to get it off, I actually have to turn it clockwise to loosen. So that's also a little bit hard because usually this thing is a little tight. So if you turn this with a screw, the whole thing will twist. So here's a little trick to secure the blade is just get yourself a piece of 2x4 or something like that. Bring the saw down and have it bite into it. Because again, we're going to turn this clockwise, so hopefully the blades of the teeth will bite into this piece of 2x4 so it won't move when we're turning. So I'll just, again, go grab my 13 millimeter, stick it in there, and then I'm going to push clockwise. Whoops. Let's try that again. Clockwise. There we go. Okay, so clockwise will actually loosen this bolt. So again, this is backwards, so just be a little careful. I'm turning this bolt clockwise and it's coming out, so it's a little bit opposite. So I'm going to pull him out, okay, and then I'm going to take this large spacer slash washer, keep him handy, and set him off to the side. Now what I can do is I can go ahead and maybe also while we're here, we'll make a note here. This old blade, you see it's got a notation of which direction it should rotate. Again, if you're familiar with saw blades, this will make sense with the directionality of the teeth. So the rotation here is clockwise as you're looking at it. On the saw, there's also, I don't know if you can see it, but there's this indentation showing the direction of the rotation. Again, we just want to make a note of that so we know which direction this saw rotates so that when we put on the new blade, we're going to put it in an appropriate direction. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and just jimmy that out, and here you go. So the 10-inch blade comes clean out, and now I'm going to go ahead and get the next blade. And actually, while I'm at it, maybe let's look at this. There's another spacer washer in here that mine is kind of stuck on pretty good, so I'll leave it that way. But if it, oh, there it comes. See, it pops off. So again, you just want to be careful that we make sure we keep the ordering of these proper. So there's saw blade motor, then we're going to have this inner washer there, then the saw blade. So I'm going to grab my new 10-inch blade. So in this case, I'm using a metal cutoff blade. So actually the orientation or the direction of the spin, I don't think actually matters on these blades because they don't have teeth. The one thing we do want to make sure is that the RPM that this blade is designed for, this is 6100 RPM, and I know that my saw spins slower. It's 4600 RPM, so this should be safe to put on. So what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to make sure that I've got the washer in. Okay, then I'm going to put the saw blade, and again, just jimmy it in there. Okay. All right, and then we're going to get the outer washer, and we got to make a little bit careful that if you notice, right, this outer washer, it's not perfectly circular on the inside, right? It's got these square, flattened edges. Similarly, you'll see it matches the pattern on the bolt here, or on this inset. So we just got to make sure that we align it properly. So I will align this here. Push it all along. Perfect. Great. There we go. And then I'll go get our reversed threaded 13 millimeter bolt. So again, to tighten this, I'm actually going to go counterclockwise. So I'm turning it counterclockwise to tighten. And now, to tighten it once we get it all the way in, again, grab our 13 millimeter. And now what I'm going to do, maybe let's grab a pair of gloves, hold onto it, and tighten by going counterclockwise. So again, remember, that's just a little bit backwards than normal because this is a reverse thread. Now, I don't want to super over tighten this, but I don't want it loose. So I'm just going to try to be careful and tighten it. There we go. Okay, I think that seems pretty good. So now what we're going to do is let's go ahead and move the guard back in position. So again, you're going to have to kind of jimmy this thing a little bit just so it fits. There we go. Okay, I'll get it close in place, and then I'll go take our normal threaded 13 millimeter, put it back in the spot to secure the guard in place. Okay, again, grab my 13 millimeter socket and I will tighten that down so the guard is secure. Okay, there we go. And now let's just double check to make sure the guard looks like it's going to work. Yep, looks like the guard goes up and down okay. Looks like we don't have any interference. Maybe I'll just spin this a couple times to see how it looks. Looks pretty true. Looks like we're not getting any issues and no wobble. That looks good. So maybe what I'll do now is let's throw on a pair of gloves and just double check that this works. So let's plug her in. Remember, it was unplugged earlier, but now we're going to plug it in, so just be a little bit careful. So again, I would go ahead and make sure that at this point, you got yourself some safety glasses, you got yourself some good safety equipment, because this is the first time you're testing this new blade. Let's give it a shot. All right, there you go. So that's how to replace the blade on this Makita LS1030. Hopefully it's useful, and hopefully some of these ideas translate to other chop saws. So I hope to catch you in one of our future videos. I'll talk to you later. Bye.